Can we get the Chromebooks out, please? And everybody get their Chromebook and go ahead and start on Splash Math. Yay!
You gotta get excited when kids say yay to math. I love that.
I know, right?
It's like, that's my little dude. I connect.
We do whatever we have to do to make sure our kids are given the same opportunities as other kids. And we want to make sure that our kids learn things that they don't normally learn in school. Yes, we do help them with math and reading. That's the basics. But we want to expand their horizons. We want them to know that there are other things, other options for them out there that they can be successful in. And if they learn at a young age that they can successfully build a robot, they can successfully do science experiments, they can successfully use technology effectively to help them move forward in their lives, then they know that that's a possibility for them. If they don't ever learn that, then they never know that. So we want to make sure that they experience it at this age, young age. My name is Francine Smith. I am the program manager here at Rebuilding Broken Places, CDC, Community Development Corporation. I've been here since 2007, so that's quite a long time. You have to try to come up with creative ways of addressing the lack and the gaps that our students face. And that's what we try to do here. We try to come up with creative solutions. So I know you've seen the kits that we have over here today, and we've had other things that we've done. Our kids this year so far, they've built towers, they've built a boat out of straw and plastic wrap and tape. They built the boat out of that and made it float. They learned how to do that. Most of our kids here during this summer are in kindergarten, first and second grade, and they're learning it. They're doing the same thing the older kids are doing, because they can, if you give them the opportunity.
And it's surprising that you have to say that,
Yeah,
because
I know.
I think that when you think about this, it's like, okay, we're going to take kids that are oftentimes growing up in much harder situations at home, and we're going to invest less in those schools. And then we're surprised when the outcome is they're not learning as much.
Exactly. When I came here to because I started working on a Stop the Violence initiative. That's how I came to work here. At the time, we were having a lot of murders in our community and a lot of unsolved murders, and it really touched my heart. I wanted to see some changes in our community, so the initiative had already started, but I joined the initiative, and that's how I came to work at Rebuilding. But since I've been here, it has become my heart. It truly has. It has been what I believe is my mission. It is my ministry. It is what God has placed me here to do. And I believe that He gives me the tools to do what needs to be done and the wisdom to know how to use them. And I just pray that continues because our community truly needs it. We have trained poor people to be poor and to stay poor. It's truly been an indoctrination. We have taught people that the bare minimum, not even enough to really live on, but the bare minimum is okay, and you should be satisfied with that. I'm also a member of the Goldsboro Wayne NAACP, and we did a survey, so to speak, a walk-around survey in one of our communities, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. Just knocking on doors to get an idea of what we could do to help people in our community. What did they think they needed? And we went into the poorest communities and asked the questions. And a lot of people said, "Oh, we're good. We don't need anything. We're fine." I think that breaks my heart more than anything else. They don't even know they need anything else. If they had a basic income in their families, I think it would change everything. Having enough food, having a decent place to live, having the ability to get treated for medical care. Not necessarily as children, because most of the children are covered medically, but their parents aren't. So if my mom is constantly sick and can't get the treatment she needs, does that affect me as a kid? You bet it does. It's not a good effect. So all of these things, when parents are worried about how they're going to feed their kids, they're worried about how they're going to pay their bills, they're worried about medical issues or other things that are going on, financial issues, it affects our kids as well. Because they hear things, they feel, they sense it. And it affects their learning, it affects their ability to thrive in an environment where things are supposed to be nurturing, and they can't be nurturing because there's just too many other things going on. But we have trained them to need only what we've given them.
And the irony is, if you flip it around and you go to the wealthiest neighborhoods, you won't find a single one where people say, we're good.
Not a single one. Not one. They all have needs, tremendous needs. Yeah, I need this. Give me more, give me more, give me more. Just give them the money. You've got to give them the education, the exposure. You've got to help them set the goals and help them reach somewhere else. It's got to be more than just dumping money in somebody's lap, because that's not solving the problem.
When people often ask is that, well, how do you solve poverty? Is it, do you give people money or do you educate people? Like, it's both.
It's got to be both.
It's both. And like I think what we're trying to do, if you give people enough money that they at least don't have to live at poverty, does that help? Absolutely. But the goal is not to get people to just be at poverty. The goal is to get people to have flourishing, full lives.
Yes.
And you can't do that without taking off the shackles of poverty from people's minds.
Right.
Too. And so that's why we're here talking to you.
That is it right there. You got to take the shackles off their minds.
Yeah.
You really and truly do. So one of the other programs we have here is also we do some workforce development and entrepreneurial development. So we have a program where we bring people in who are interested in food service, whether they want to start their own business as a caterer or run a food truck. We've had tremendous results. We have had several of our graduates have gone on and really started effective businesses that are providing a good income for them, and we're really proud of that because it makes a difference. We took them from not really knowing how to do any of it to now being able to run their own business. And that makes a difference. That's lifting that family up. And they don't pay anything for that program. It's a free program.
So once someone finishes that program and they're ready to start their own business, let's say, how do they get funding?
Yeah, that's what I want to know too. How do we get them some money to do that? Because that's the next step. Mm-hmm. That's the next thing we want to be able to do. So, we want to be able to get them to that place and then say, okay, so now we have some investors for you to go talk to.
Yeah. It may fall on you, it may fall on someone else, I'm not sure, that if they had funds to be able to distribute these loans, that they could actually do it.
Oh yeah, that's my job, is to make the programs come together and happen. So would we do it? Absolutely. If we had the funding to do it, we would definitely do it.
Okay. All right. We'll make that happen then. I can commit to giving you $250,000 to start off with to make loans to people who come out of the program.
What? Yeah. Are you serious?
Yeah.
You have any idea what that will do for the people in this community? That's life-changing. That is truly life-changing.
And it shouldn't be.
But it is.
Yeah.
Okay. okay.
Just
I
thank you for
did
doing
not
it.
intend to get emotional,
It's okay.
but yeah, that would make a tremendous difference.
You can't start a business if you don't have the money to get going. Capitalism doesn't work if you don't have capital.
It doesn't.
And all we're trying to do is figure out ways to get people up and running and going. And you're doing the hard part, which is educating people, getting them to have the confidence to believe that they can do it and get out and go. And I'm just trying to help with the easy part, which is let's give them a little funding so that they can be able to, go and figure this thing out. And
That's
try to set it up for them and give them loans at a cheap rate so that the poorest people shouldn't be paying the highest interest rate.
And that's what we do.
Yeah.
Which I have never understood the logic in that at all. Why should the poorest people pay the most money?
Yeah.
The people who struggle the most, why should they have to pay more rather than less?
Yeah.
There's something wrong with that logic.
There's something very wrong with that.
Yes. Something is very, very wrong with that logic.
Another question that we get all the time, which is, well, if you give poor people money, they won't know what to do with it.
Said no poor person ever.
We have to ask. We have to ask.